Being the daughter of a single parent, her beauty had always been her saving grace. In the end, however, it became her undoing. Ada was a 21-year-old university student who had grown up in abject poverty. Her mother, who was a devout Christian, was her only living relative, and they had a close bond. They struggled to make ends meet after her father's passing, relying on Ada's scholarship to keep her in the university. But scholarships don't cover everything. Rent was often overdue, meals were skipped, and the guilt of leaving her mother to suffer in the village weighed heavily on Ada. Despite her hardships, Ada was breathtakingly beautiful. Her elegance and charm often drew admiration and sometimes unexpected generosity from people around her. This was how she met Deji, a final year student from a wealthy family. Deji adored her, showering her with gifts, paying her rents, and even sending money to her mother occasionally. Ada was grateful for his kindness, but she couldn't deny the feeling of being a burden to Deji. One hot afternoon, after her last lecture, Ada decided to go back to her rented apartment. Her feet ached and sweat dripped down her back due to the heat of the sun. As she waited for a bike, a sleek black SUV pulled up beside her. The tinted window rolled down to reveal a middle-aged man with a warm smile. "Hello, young lady," he said. "It's too hot to be walking in this sun. Let me give you a ride." Ada was hesitant, but eventually, after a little persuasion, she agreed. In the car, the man introduced himself as Chief John, a renowned politician. As they drove, he kept complimenting her beauty. His continuous compliments made Ada a little uneasy, and she smiled shyly. Then, out of nowhere, he made a proposal. "You are a rare gem, Ada," he said, his tone calm and engaging. "I am willing to give you 5 million if you would agree to be with me for one night." Ada froze. She had never been offered such an amount of money in her life, and the thought of what it could do for her and her mother clouded her judgment immediately. While she was contemplating the offer, she remembered her mother's warnings and decided to refuse the offer. But Chief John handed her a bundle of cash, 1.5 million, as a show of good faith. Without giving her time to think, he dropped her off at her house and told her that he would pick her up at the same place in the evening for their rendezvous. He also told her that due to his political status, he did not want her to discuss about him with her friends, so he asked her to keep their agreement a secret. When Ada got home, her best friend and neighbor, Jennifer, noticed her distracted demeanor and asked her, "What's going on, Ada?" With reluctance, Ada decided to tell Jennifer about her unholy proposal while making sure not to mention the politician's name. Jennifer's reaction was sharp. "Ada, this is a dangerous proposal. This man is not good. No one gives you this kind of money for nothing." She advised Ada not to go for the meeting, but the cash in Ada's bag spoke louder than Jennifer's words. Against her friend's warnings, Ada left that night, determined to seize the opportunity that could change her life. Chief John sent his driver to pick her up. He took her to a luxurious hotel where Ada was dazzled by the opulence. The sparkling chandeliers, the gold-plated furnitures, the lavish meals, and the exotic atmosphere. Everything seemed perfect. And then it was time for them to go into the room. But instead of asking for intimacy, Chief John made a bizarre request. "I want to drink your urine and taste your private," he said to her bluntly. "What?" Ada exclaimed, utterly shocked. He chuckled at her reaction. "Relax, my dear. You won't even have to sleep with me. You get your money full. I get my pleasure. Many girls do this. Why are you acting like a child? He asked her impatiently. When he saw that she was visibly afraid, he asked her to calm down. Don't worry, I'm going to add your money. Instead of 3.5 million balance, I'm going to give you 5 million. You don't have any reason to be afraid. Ada wanted to run, but the thought of the now 5 million kept her seated. After much persuasion, she reluctantly agreed. Chief John was ecstatic, showering her with praise afterwards. True to his words, he gave her the 5 million and left the hotel room the next morning. With the money now securely in her account, Ada felt like her life was finally changing. She sent a large portion to her mother, paid off her rents, and started looking for a better apartment. But within a week, she began to experience stomach pains. What started as a mild discomfort turned into unbearable agony. She started moving from hospital to hospital and doing countless tests, which all provided her with no answers, as every test came back normal, yet her condition continued to worsen. Her stomach swelled unnaturally, and she complained of strange movements inside her abdomen. Her once beautiful face became unrecognizable, and her body extremely frail. While lying helplessly on the hospital bed, and after pressure from her best friend, she opened up about what happened to her that night with Chief John and asked for her mother to be called from the village. Almost all the money she had received from Chief John had gone back toward clearing her hospital bills, and she was back to where she started financially. One day, while her mother was taking care of her, a kind nurse suggested that they seek spiritual help, as to her, the situation was beyond medical intervention. Desperate for answers, her mother took Ada to a nearby church where a pastor began to pray over her. Midway through the prayer session, the pastor stopped and spoke solemnly. This girl has been used for a money ritual renewal, he declared. Her mother was stunned. What do you mean? I mean she has been used for a wealth renewal sacrifice. The man who did this has bound her life to his riches. That is why no treatment can help her. The pastor also reassured her mother that nothing is too hard for God to do, and so they will continue their prayers. When Jennifer heard what the pastor had to say, she was able to connect the dots. She went ahead to tell Ada's mother everything that Ada had told her, because at this point, Ada could no longer speak for herself, as she had become non-verbal. Today, Ada and her mother are still at the pastor's house, fighting for Ada's liberation. Ada's story is a sobering reminder that decisions made in desperation can have devastating consequences. May her ordeal serve as a warning to us all. Thank you for watching up to this point. Kindly let us know which part of the story resonated with you more. And also, let us know what lessons you could draw from Ada's story. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave any advice you have for Ada or anyone going through similar situation in the comment section. We look forward to reading your opinions and your advice. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye.